Hello there, and welcome. Episode 307, the last week of the project. If I decide not to do any more episodes. I think once a week episodes might work after this week, and I might do that. We'll see. Today I want to talk about Mother. In fact, this week is going to be about Mother. Even though this project is about John, it started with John, I've spoken enough about his relationship with Mother to let you know that he would want the last week to be about Mother. Even if she were still living, he would still want it to be about Mother because she was such an important person to both of us. In fact, to a lot of people. Not just our family. She was important to a lot of people. And so this last week should be really about her, about the woman who gave us life and who taught us how to be true to ourselves. Mother was bossy, and I'm bossy. And so I quarreled with Mother more than any of her kids. Like, the boys never quarreled with Mother the way I did. So I'm going to be able to discuss her in different ways. I also lived with her. She lived with me and I lived with her. Both of those things happened and we both learned from those experiences. So I knew Mother about as well as anybody ever has, probably, except for Daddy, of course, and her mother. But I want to tell you about what Mother taught John and I, and the secret, the real secret to crisis moments for teachers that Mother prepared us for. And I'm going to call it the Righteous Prayer. Now, I got the name the Righteous Prayer from The Right Stuff. Tom Wolfe's amazing book. I read a section of it on the channel here. It's Tom Wolfe's amazing novelization of the Mercury program. And he talked about the righteous prayer in there. And I'm not going to use the language that he uses, but the righteous prayer is essentially, Dear Lord, please don't let me mess up. And I know that John and I both, at one time or another, or me actually, I said it every day, Dear Lord, please don't let me mess up. Every time I ever had to send a kid out in the hall to wait to talk to me, and I had to confront their behavior, I, in my mind and heart, said the righteous prayer. Dear Lord, please don't let me mess up. When you're in the position of being a teacher or a mentor or a leader, the righteous prayer should be part of your life. It needs to be part of your life. And if you don't believe in God, you still need to have some meditative element that you can go to so that you can have some grounding before you face a crisis moment. Please, dear Lord, don't let me mess up. Gives you some calm as you step out to talk with someone who's upset and angry, and may not even be that upset and angry at you. They may be upset and angry about something else that happened during the day, and you just happen to elicit their ferocious response. I think every cop, before they get out of the car, should whisper the righteous prayer to themselves, because they're in such dangerous areas and in such dangerous situations that they should have that available to them. Please, Lord, don't let me mess up. Now, what did I learn from the righteous prayer, and what did it give me? Well, one of the things I learned was to let whoever it is have their say. When I go out and talk to a young person, I might be tempted to do all the talking, but what I did, for the most part, in most situations, was I had them talk. I would say to them, look, okay, you have my full attention now. You're not a distraction to the class. Whatever you have to say it now and get it all out. Because after you're done, I'm going to talk to you about it. And what I found oftentimes when I let a student do that, when I let a student go ahead and express whatever was upsetting them, generally speaking, they would, after that expression, be cognizant of what I was about to say. They would know that whatever it was that they needed to express had been heard. That was the first thing that they needed to know. And the second thing they needed to know was they're not allowed to derail the class because they have a problem with me or with their life. That exchange and the treatment of them as young adults rather than children, because they were young adults, that it was appropriate to treat young adults as young adults, was an incredible gift. And I'm so thankful that I was allowed to do that. When I started teaching, supposedly teachers were allowed to paddle students. I would never paddle a student. And it soon became obvious that the unwritten statement, the unwritten rule at our school was no paddling. We wouldn't be paddling. At any school that I ever taught at, there was not paddling. That did not happen. So it had to be all about a more gentle type of correction. And more gentle in a way. At the military school, it was physical workouts, so those weren't exactly gentle. Some of those were as punishing as a paddling would be. Sometimes more punishing. The reason that prayer is so important, the reason that thought is so important, is it's absolutely essential that a teacher recognize that they are human and that they can make a mistake. And that that acknowledgement in themselves of their humanity will help them acknowledge the humanity in the young person that's driving them absolutely up a tree. We cannot help but sometimes be in conflict with each other. We can't help that. That's going to happen. And if anybody taught me that, it's my mother. We can be in agreement on almost everything and still have a disagreement just over a battle of wills. And so having that prayer, please Lord, don't let me mess up, is important. And in fact, I know that Mother prayed it when we get in a squabble or a fight, and I know that I prayed it. And, you know, when you're both praying to do the right thing, eventually you will. I know that sounds crazy, but you will. And John had said that prayer enough by the time I got grown that he could disagree with me. We could disagree on things and still love each other. We could still have a squabble and love each other. Although I must say, John and I almost never fussed after we got to a certain age. Once I had turned, I guess, 23 or so, we didn't fuss anymore. It didn't happen anymore. Our last fuss, real fuss, was when I was a teenager. And it did not go well. And I think he regretted some of the things he said, and I certainly regretted some of the things I said. But that's the thing that I think everybody should have in any profession where you're working with humans and you have to deal with battles of wills. I think that's a good one to have. Please, Lord, don't let me mess up. Of course, you may still mess up. But you never know. Every once in a while, you may actually have enough insight to where you do the exact right thing, which is a really wonderful blessing to do the exact right thing. Mother did the exact right thing a lot, more so than I did. My mother, to her credit, was one of the most generous and forgiving people I ever knew. It took her a while to get there. She didn't start out as the most generous and forgiving of people, but she became that. And because of that, she became a superb example of womanhood. That's it for today. I hope you have a blessed rest of the day, and I hope you see me again, you gorgeous people.